My name is Faraz, and I'm working as a technical artist at Zero Density.
Today we will cover how to use data-driven graphics in a live broadcast environment using JSON Parser plugin native to Reality Engine. So Faraz, who is this JSON?
It's JavaScript, son.
Oh, I bought it just once. You're not gonna fool me for another time.
JSON is more than that. It's like a JavaScript, son. It's because it's a subset of JavaScript.
Mm-hmm.
And guys, if your first time in taking this webinar, let me recap my previous two webinars very quickly, because we have started the first webinar with the very basics of Unreal and the reality, some features of reality. I remember first I created a very basic blueprint, light switch blueprint, as you remember.
Mm-hmm.
And then we take it to another level, intermediate, and then advanced. The second webinar was focused on the 3D widget and UMGs, and most of the things that you are going to watch right now is an extension of our second webinar. So why JSON? The question is why JSON? Because the JSON is an integral part of our next big thing, which is the Reality Hub, our web-based control application. So I decided to have a webinar on it, so you can get an idea especially for the designer guys who don't know anything about the JSON, that what it's all about and how it helps to populate our graphics with just a simple human readable text. So I prepare a very short presentation for you guys, and it helps you to understand basics of JSON.
For sure.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, the green one.
Is it shared?
Yes.
Okay,
Perfect.
let's start. First thing first, what is JSON? JSON stands for JavaScript Object Notation, and it is lightweight format for storing and transporting data to and from any application on the web. JSON is self-describing. That's why I like it, because I am a designer without having any programming experience, but I learned it in just 4 or 5 days. So it is self-describing and easy to understand. JSON is easy to use with most of the modern programming languages. So every programming language have some sort of JSON library, built-in libraries and functions in it. So JSON is being used by the tech giants. Just for your information, that most of the tech giants out there, Yahoo, Flickr, Facebook, and many more, are using JSON as their primary source of data interchange. What type of data does it support? It supports number without any difference between the integer and floats. You can store, you can parse the values like 1 and with the decimal and without decimal. A string, every Unicode character, it must be enclosed in double quotes. So it's same like the reality or 215 or any number or any character until unless it is enclosed in double quotations. Boolean, true or false values, array, ordered list, number of element with their respective index numbers starting from 0 and onwards. Object, unordered collection of key values, pairs. This is an example. Fruit is a key, an apple is a value. I will explain it more when we proceed with the webinar further. Empty values. Here is an example. Let's say you have a graphic header and it just has a simple text. How should you supposed to write a JSON code for it? Check it out. This is the value. This is the key. And this is the value that you want to pass to your graphic. So both of these key and value pair becomes an object. This is a very basic example of JSON, right? Start with the curly bracket. Key must be enclosed in double quotations. And after that, column, then your value, close the curly bracket. And that's it. Let's have an example, another example. My name, job title, technical artist, age, address, children's. When you see the code that I write to transfer, to parse this kind of data, it is right there. It starts with the name, this is the key, this is the value, key, value. And when it comes to the address has two main fields. So I start the curly bracket and and it becomes an object. I'm not getting into it in very detail. So because eventually I will get it later in the webinar. I start an array, which is the square bracket, and enclosed both of these two names, the children's, in an array. So you can add or remove the number of element from an array. So it's another example of a very basic example of how to, and when I show this to anyone, do anyone have any difficulty to understand this? Name, job title, age, address, street, city, children.
It's very clear for non-computer programmers.
Exactly. This is what it is.
Our audience mainly knows, but we also have people without any programming knowledge. So if you know very well, just grab a coffee and come back. So
let's move it.
Introduce.
My last example, it's a basic table header, home team, away team. Home team goals, away team goals, and this is the code that I write. Start with the table header. This is my key. This is my object, and it has 4 key and value pairs. 1, 2, 3, 4. What happens if I add a row? Because it's a row, and maybe I add more or remove any number of rows, so I enclose the raw object in an array like this. So it is just to show you that it is quite human readable and easy to understand kind of a programming. This is what we have, the JSON Parser plugin. It is native to the Reality Engine. You can't find it in Unreal Vanilla, but if you want something like this, you can definitely buy it from the marketplace. It starts from the JSON data. Then I extend it to another function, which is from a string. I just put my JSON string to the JSON data. Then I am just getting the main object, and from that object I'm getting my fields right here, and these fields are connected with the text, which I'm going to show you later in this webinar. So let's dive into it practically. What I did right here, what it's supposed to like, let me tell you first. It is something like this, okay? But this is a 3D widget. It's just a simple 2D UMG, which I project on in the 3D space. And this whole scenario we have already covered in our second webinar.
Yeah.
So
you can find it on YouTube.
Yeah, you can find it on YouTube. And I'm not going to get into this 3D widget kind of thing because we have very limited time. So what I did right here is starting with the very basic row, which has team A score, team B score, you can say home team score and away team score, and the text field right here. If I want to parse JSON string to these values, so when I change the JSON file, when I make any changes, that you can see those changes in real time on my graphics. What I'm going to do is, okay, let me explore the graphic structure to you. It is just a simple text, UNG text. I just rename it, score home team. This is raw title, and this is score away team. That's it, nothing else. Okay, and I designed the whole this whole graphic in Photoshop definitely, and then import the layer. So we need to start with create JSON data. This is the plugin. This is the node that we have after installing the plugin, and it is native. You don't have to install it. It's native plugin with reality. So when I drag it, you can see right here what I have. Boolean array field, class array, color array, all kind of different arrays and functions, and even you can parse the transformation and color value directly from the JSON to your graphic. Okay, rotator, transform. There are so many things. So first, I need to create a variable which stores my string, and before that, let's do something. I've already installed Chrome plugin for my JSON editor. It's there. It's very handy. I just explored it a few days ago. So to write a JSON string for this graphic, we have 1, 2, 3, right? So first, curly brackets, then home team score, column, then I'm hard-coded the home team score right now, sorry, comma, to separate a pair from one another. It is raw title, maybe yellow cards, and sorry, and it is away team score, just like our graphic, maybe 0, 4. Close the bracket. That's it. What is good about this editor, that when you push your string right here, you will see the graphical representation of your string. Whatever the changes I made here, whatever, I can push it back to my string. So it's quite easy. So I have home team score, key, the value is 3, raw title, key, the value is yellow cards, away team score, key, the value is 0, 1 right now. So let's do some blueprints. I'm going to create a string variable which stores my JSON string. Drag it out there. I've made it public so I can change it on the fly in real time. Another function from string, which takes the value from this string and pass it to the fields and extract the fields from it. Get string field. How many fields we have? 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, and 3. I just press Control W to make copy of my notes. From JSON string, and now I need to copy first field, first key, second key, the third key. Okay. Now what about, definitely I want to connect these fields to my JSON string. So these variables are right here. Raw title, home team, away team. What I'm going to do is to use a very basic function, which is set text for the first one, make a duplicate copy of it. Second, another copy. Third, sorry. Now I'm getting the value from this key and parse it to my text. So I need to connect it like this. It automatically converts text to string. Like this. So let's take another look. JSON data string, getting the fields, getting the keys from this data. The keys are right here: HT score, raw title, and AT score, and get the values from these keys. Values are right after this column, right here, and connect those values to my text, and it updates in real time. Now, what I'm going to do is to use a callback event. If you don't know anything about reality callbacks, events and functions, so you must watch my first and second web. It is like on, CHANG, on changed. It is case sensitive, and your variable name. What I want, whenever this variable change, the values update themselves. Connect it right here. And definitely we need to make a connection. I've already exported. This is another feature of reality, that you can export your UMGs directly from the control application. So I've already exported my UMGs right from here. I export the table raw and table. So UMG raw web is already exported, and this is UMG raw web. Okay, fine. Let's play it. I'm going to open my reality setup. Right click, create UNG template. Table raw, it's right here. What happened? You can see it is the old data that is default data. So what I'm going to do is just, sorry, this one. Just copy my JSON string from there, copy, and paste it right here. You see? Let me show you again. I'm changing the data. Maybe number of passes. Copy, paste. So we have made successful connection between the JSON string and our graphic. This is the first step that I want to show you guys. Do we have any question?
Not at the moment.
Okay, you can ask any question during the webinar. So if I get the chance at the end of the webinar, I will answer them. This is how the JSON string works with the graphic in real time. Let's take it to another level. What if I want to have multiple rows? Let me stop sharing for a while. Yes. So what if I have a multiple rows? Maybe the first row is false, then passes, yellow card, red card, and you want to add dynamically rows and you want to remove the rows in real time. So with the help of the JSON, right? There is a very basic structure of that of the JSON that we need to create an array. Okay, we can do it with the object way also, but array is always a good idea. So it has an index number, and you can always add and remove and do editing stuff quite easily. So let me share my screen. Okay, there is a very interesting way which in the UMG, which helps you to make a duplicate copies of rows and columns. I don't think so that I want it right now. Okay, this is my widget blueprint for the raw. And this is a blank UMG. If you don't know how to create a widget blueprint, you can do this, something like this. User interface, widget blueprint, okay? So when I have a blank 1920 1080 resolution widget blueprint, I'm just going to add vertical box. What it does, and if you don't know anything about UMG and you want to learn widget blueprint, second webinar is there, okay? And what I'm going to do right now, just to show you that how good is the vertical box in this particular scenario. Look at that. When I add a child in the vertical box, it updates dynamically. See, it's aligned dynamically. So I am going to make most of this feature of vertical box in order to add or remove the rows from my table. So I've created a vertical box in blank UMG, and now I'm start my coding, or you can say the blueprint. So I don't need anything like this right here. Okay, Control X, Control V. What I'm going to do right now, delete them all, is to first change the type of the row into array. And it is quite easy. I am just
So if you have multiple rows, you have to use array?
Yeah, you don't have to, but it's always a good idea to use array.
Okay.
So I am going to start something like Sorry. This and this got an array. Did I miss? Oh yeah, sorry. It's there. And I think I missed something. Yes.
Yeah, someone asks, actually Ramon is asking, is it possible to import the JSON data automatically from a web location when it's changed?
Yeah, exactly.
Yes, the
Let me
answer is
copy
yes.
one thing from
And
there.
Faraz will show you how to do it, how to extract data from a web location.
Yeah,
Soon, actually.
yes, very soon. Okay, I got it. I've just created an array. I changed my graphics into array. Now you can make a duplicate of number of arrays, number of array elements right from here like this. So what I did, I just, let me delete them just for the sake of simplicity. I just started with the array title, with the object type of array. After colon, I just add a square bracket, then the curly bracket, and it enclosed in the curly bracket. Then I definitely close this bracket and then the main bracket. So it is just about this thing right here and a square bracket. You can convert the whole data type into array. Now what I'm going to do is delete this one. The variable is there but not here, so I'm going to create JSON data, and the type of the variable is a string. Okay, now let's first finish the raw blueprint. What I'm going to do is to create a variable called raw, and its type will be JSON field data. And from this raw, I will get the string fields 1, 2, and 3. score.
Oh, it's like the exact start.
Yeah, exactly.
Right?
It's, I just add another variable. Instead of the JSON data, I am connecting it from this, and you will see why I'm doing this. score raw title. I'm going to link them again from a string and Y. Okay, okay, okay. I take the wrong thing, right? That's what fine. It's not from a string, it's get string field. This, sorry, this, and this. Uh, act. And I'm just going to repeat the whole process again, so you remember it. Event construct. It is just like event begin in the class blueprint. Event construct. I just want to initiate my raw variable with these fields, and that's it. And after this, it parse the values to the text. This is all I am going to do in the raw blueprint, raw widget. Compile, save. That's it. Now, from a string, let's leave them somewhere else. From a string, let me compile it first. Okay, get object array field, and you know what is the array? Here it is, ROW. And it's always a good idea to use for each loop if you are getting the values from the array. So for each, and then on the fly, I am going to create my widget right here in order to get these values. This, especially this raw variable, UNG raw var. Create widget. What widget? UNG raw var. Okay. And when I have the raw var here, this blueprint right here, so I can get what? Raw. Raw. There are so many raw variables right there. So raw so it's gonna be more literal now for me to search my variable. Yeah, set raw data. Okay, and from the raw, what I'm going to do, this is my vertical widget right here. And I can't see it right there because, you know, this vertical widget needs to be a variable. Let's name it add raw and make it variable from right here. Drag it. And what I'm going to do is to use add child function. I'm going to connect it like this, and I am going to connect it like this. So what happened from the raw, from the array, it gets the first element, and from this, it gets the raw data and add the child right there. This is what's going to happen, right? And there is an option of content right here. So what content you want to populate in when you add the child? I want my widget, this widget. So I'm going to connect it like this. Make it more neat and clean. Add routing nodes so you can see what is going on. This one. And this is more or less everything that I need to do in this blueprint. Create JSON data. From string, I am getting the array field, which is raw. This is the string variable, which carries my JSON string, the whole JSON string, this one. And then for each loop, because it's an array, and on the fly, I've created my widget blueprint, raw, and from the raw, it adds into the child of the vertical box right there. So let me compile it and show you what happened next. Now it is my master blueprint, okay? This one. And it is UNG raw table underscore web. Let's check it out that I have already exported it or not. Yes, it's exported with the name of table. So let's play it. My reality setup, it's table. Just want to see its display on the screen. Nothing. Okay. Let's copy it and paste it. Sorry. Right there, but I can't see anything. Where should I supposed to paste it? Maybe I forget to add something. We need to make JSON data public variable in order to see it in the node graph. So I just turn on the I, or you can make it editable right here. It should be public, always. Right click, create UNG template, my table. This is my UNG node, display, and update every frame. Now I get it. Okay. Is it working or not? No. Let me check what I did. Oh, how?
You compiled and did not save?
No. Definitely, we need to trigger some sort of event or function in order to get these values out. So I don't have anything yet. What I'm going to do is to have a custom event update raw connected right here. I'm going to create another function update, and this is something that I've already described tens of times in my last 2 webinars also, how to create functions, how to create events, and all that stuff, right? So I'm going to create a function to update my raws, and which triggers that update raw event. That's it. I'm sorry, I need to save it so I don't have to do it every time. Here we go. The first row. Let's check its functionality, that it is adding the row or not. First, I need to save my R graph, so I don't need to test. I am just duplicating my array elements, right? 3, okay? So yellow card, maybe I want to change it with number of passes, 10, 20. Maybe false, 3, 12, whatever. And just click this button. So it updated the JSON string. And I'm going to paste it right there. Okay, it works. So I am adding number of rows dynamically with the help of an array, which is the JSON array, right? What if I want to remove a couple of some rows? Let's do it.
Maybe the first one, because it's double.
We can.
Yellow cards, yellow cards.
Yeah, we can, but I am just removing this right here. Okay, sorry. This one. And let's check it. It won't work. You know why? You see what happened? It adds. Instead of removing the rows, it adds. Because I need to add something into my logic. Vertical widget right here. First, it need to clear up the previous rows, right? So clear children, and then it start looping and getting the array. Now it works. And one more thing, I just need to move it a bit down so I can see my rows in the middle of the screen. Okay, right there, something like this. Okay, just copy this text, paste it right there. Now, what I'm going to do is to just, I'm not changing the data, I'm just showing you the functionality, right? Okay, something like this, sorry. Something like this. There, okay. Now I am going to remove few rows. Let's see it updates or not. It works. So this is more or less everything that I want to share with you guys, except one. I think we need to take care of the animations also. I already have a a good animation of this widget in another blueprint. So I am going to copy it from there. Sorry, copy it from there and paste it right here. Okay, it shows an error because the name, you just have to select this one, right click, replace. Now it worked fine, absolutely fine. I'm sure about it. Yes. So what if I'm going to, what I need some sort of animation. If you want to learn basics of animation, yes, the second webinar is there. So it's a play function. What I'm going to do is on event construct that I already have this variable and everything at the end of that event construct. I'm just adding my animation, that's it. So let's see it works or not.
We have a question.
Okay.
So what if we want some padding between the rows?
What if we want the padding between the rows?
Yes.
Yes, you can. In the UMG, you have a spacer which you can add in between the rows. That's why I'm asking that regarding the UMG, we covered almost everything in the second webinar. If anyone have any question regarding the UMG, specifically with the UMG and 3D widget kind of thing, and how to project your UMG onto the 3D geometry also, I think the second webinar is there.
The answer.
Yeah, and I will show it right now also. No problem. So what was? Okay, the animation is there. Less in order to check it, I am well, it's working fine. But what if you want to add a delay between the rows? It's another thing. What I can do, I already have created a macro for each loop with delay. This for each loop with delay is a macro that I've already created before the webinar, and you can create this kind of for each loop with delay. Just go on the YouTube, type Unreal or blueprint for each loop with delay, and you have 2 or 3 tutorials there. I just watched it and replicated what it did. So I just modify for each loop with the delay, right? So I need to reconnect it with this, fine tune. Let's check it out. Working or not. I hope it works. Yeah. Wow, it's working.
Looks nice.
With delay, and delay is in your hand, whatever you want to put there. So it is very basic, that how you're going to integrate JSON Parser plugin with your, and it is not limited only to the UMGs, whatever type of graphic, it doesn't matter. It is all about the blueprint. That's it, nothing else. No matter it's a 3D graphics, it's Unreal text, it's ZD text, it's UNG text. Even you can change images, colors on the fly with the help of JSON.
Yeah, those things control.
Now I'm going to show the reality hub, what we can do with the reality. Same graphics, same UMG, but with the reality hub. And I can't describe the reality hub right now, as you know, Birin, that it is not officially released yet.
We will launch it in NAB in a couple of months.
Yes. So why JSON is more important for our customers and partners? Because of the reality. Let me check it. Hub test. Start. By the way, we have pixel streaming node right here, you know, the link.
Wow.
And it's there now.
Which information you're gonna get?
Oh, I got it.
Nice.
Okay, guys. So it is the definitely. I also have a table header right here. So you can see the live preview in the web browser. A. B. You can add and remove number of rows dynamically without editing in the JSON query.
This makes it much easier.
Yeah, exactly. And it is a complete user interface. You see? 0 density, 10 reality, 20 home team, maybe 10 corners, 5 add raw, another raw, which is passes 02, 05, add another raw,
Go crazy.
07, what is yellow card or whatever, 01, and let's check it. So I didn't add the height functionality or other. It's up to the blueprint. Basically, it's a very basic blueprint just to show you what we have, and we can even save it as a playlist. New playlist. My playlist. And it is there. Show. Let me make it more clear to you. And show. You can add playlist, delete playlist, whatever you want. It is just a 1% of the reality hub. It is more than a control web-based control application. So it's just a teaser. That's why it is quite helpful for the designers to learn. And there is nothing to learn in the JSON, by the way, because it's quite easy human readable language. That's it.
I'll practice it after the webinar.
Yeah, sure. So what are the questions? Start from the very first.
Well, basically, there's been, about the padding between the rows, and you told us it's covered in the second webinar.
Yes.
And we had a question about how to access the previous webinars, and I answered it. It's on our YouTube channel, and there's a playlist called webinars, and we'll upload every webinar there. You can also post your questions and we'll get them answered. Also, about the JSON data export, and which updates automatically from the web location.
Yeah, this is in our roadmap, and we can absolutely do with the reality hub. We can get any resource from the web and populate our data accordingly.
It can be stock exchange.
It can be stock exchange. It can be weather data. It can be anything, right?
Yes.
So,
And one more question about the, well, more questions. How to make loops like flare loops?
oh yeah. So this is the spacing that we have between the rows. It's a spacer, right? Okay, loops. Let me show you.
And do we have a maximizer for the text? I'm not sure what it means, by the way.
Yeah, again, watch the second webinar. We have a maximizer for the text, but
I'm sending you a link.
UNG.
After the webinar.
Where is my blueprint? There it is. So the flare thing, it is, I don't know, you can see it or not. It's right there. What I did, I just create a loop, not there because it's a 3D widget. I just create a loop, and you can create the loop like this. Play. And when you pass the value 0 right here, it means that it loop continuously. So I create a separate track for the flare, and I loop it infinitely like this. And I love flare because I started my career as a real-time designer, and I used to design the graphics for television, like lower thirds and these kind of stuff. So flare is always there. Okay. So I need to stop the sharing.
Well,
yeah.
We have another question.
Okay.
How can we import the data from iNews or .NET?
It is another thing which is in our roadmap. Just hold tight, and you will see what Reality Hub can do even in its first release.
Yes.
Yes.
And again, we will launch it in NAB in a couple of months, but we also teased about it during IBC. So if you watch our IBC 2019 demo in our YouTube channel, you might get an idea. And of course, this definitely will happen in Reality
Yeah,
Hub.
sure.
So is this all from us?
Yes, guys, if you have any question regarding the JSON, regarding the blueprint, and for the Reality customers, I'm offering one thing that I can send them. Birim, if anyone contact you, you can ask me. I will give the 3D widget example to them.
Okay.
Unfortunately, for the just for the Reality users, because the JSON Parser plugin is the part of the Reality right now, not for Unreal Vanilla. So I can share them. They can learn by themselves. That if they have any queries, they can contact the support, and they will direct any query related to the design to me.
Okay, this is a great gesture for us. So if you are a Reality user, just email me, and we will get you a template, a 3D widget template. And if you're not a Reality customer, well, keep like watching us during this webinar.
Yeah, it is also it is also important for the non-Reality user, because the JSON is there. JSON is always there. It is on the web, it is on the application, and it is arguably replacing the XML right now nowadays. So, and it is designer friendly. So there is no reason why people can't learn the JSON. And if you are talking the Unreal Vanilla, so you can definitely buy plugin from the marketplace, or you can write your own C++ code, or your developer can write a code for you. So it is always good idea to learn these kind of things.
Yes, it has so many angles to approach
exactly,
it.
Exactly. It is for the whole real-time community, not for the Unreal or Reality users.
True. So if you have any last-minute questions, we can take them as well. For a change, Faras is finishing the webinar less than 2 hours.
Yeah.
So it's a record.
Because Birim, I cut so many things just for you. You would just want to finish.
That's why I'm here. I'm just here to tell him to stop. No, kidding aside, it was a good job. So I think we're good on the questions. So we will send you a replay of the webinar soon. And again, if you have any questions on the other webinars, just comment it on YouTube or email us. Well, this is it from us on the third webinar. Thank you for joining us.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Thanks.